It's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so in this message, we are really zeroing in here on this King of Swords. I feel like for most of you, this is a masculine energy that is on your mind. You've had some kind of an interlude here with him, but I feel like you have cut away and you are very much protecting yourself, defensive. You're standing your ground in this situation. And this is something that he thinks over a lot, actually, because he very much views you as a soulmate. And he views this as some type of like soulmate, divine love between the two of you. And he feels like he was offering in the past, or like wanted to offer this Ace of Cups, this kind of like pure, sweet, innocent, like divine love, very like I come in peace kind of an energy. But he can't do that because of the situation that he's in. And I do feel like this is a situation that he has built, I think potentially over a long period of time here with another person. And I don't know when you came into the picture. So maybe he chose this person over you, or maybe he had this situation built with another person when he finally met you. But he's viewing the situation between the two of you as karma, like a kind of karma or a penance that he is kind of paying and having to grapple with because of the situation that I'm hearing that he's found himself in. But I feel like he is kind of an active participant in this, but maybe that's been beneath his radar, and he's thinking over this a lot. He is kind of mirroring your energy here because I think that he can be very logical. This maybe is a very intellectually smart kind of a person, but he's thinking over it in these kind of, logical terms. And I feel like he's kind of matching your stance in that he doesn't exactly know what to do, but he has been thinking over this situation a lot. And when he's thinking over the situation, he thinks about how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, like what a fit you are, that you are really the pinnacle of maybe even his success is what he thinks about, because he thinks a lot about his success here. So he thinks about that, but then he also thinks about the situation that he's in. And the intersection of those two things really is this kind of karma that he's being confronted with. And he doesn't exactly know what to do about it. And he is, I think, a very logical kind of a person. So he thinks back to his past. And I think this is a guy where he maybe had to like struggle a lot to maintain a position, keep a position. And he feels that it taught him a lot of, balance. It gave him some type of elevated perspective. He did eventually rise and prosper in that situation, possibly on his own. So maybe he's built like a business for himself, or like a name for himself, or he works alone, or maybe he travels. There's a sense of him of like, there's a sense of isolation, but I don't mean that in like a bad way, to do with his routine and to do with his work. I think that's something that he thinks about a lot too, because I do think that he feels kind of detached and alone in the, I think, familial situation that he has kind of built here. But again, I'm getting that this is a very intellectual or very intelligent kind of person, maybe very good. There's Mercury energy that's coming through. So it could be very good with words, very good with language, but it could be that there's a skill here. And not only is he very good at that skill, but he's good at explaining or like bridging that skill, maybe bringing it into a certain place, or actually explaining it to people in a mundane sort of way. But I feel like it's kind of unlocked some type of monetary success. This to me looks like somebody who has really kind of built himself up. But the issue here is that he's with a karmic, and he does kind of recognize that. And it's hard for me to say what their relationship is exactly built on. It seems to be built on some type of materialism. And again, this whole like idea of, I want to say like eventually prospering, but this is like rising. I'm hearing the cream rises to the top, but it's a competitive worldview that he's not looking at like that. Because it feels like, again, well, I've kind of risen to the top. And the top is defined by materialism in this kind of worldview. Well, I have this and I have that. And that's what he thinks about, because he's built up something here for himself, but he feels like lonely and he feels very detached. It hasn't brought him a sense of kind of satisfaction. There could also be a partner here that is, I don't know, does bring a sense of stability into his world, like with the routines, with the way that that person kind of communicates. And maybe there was like a kind of possessiveness between the two of them, or it's like a possessiveness of the material aspects, like they both feel kind of possessive about that. So this person is really thinking a lot about this kind of situation that they're in, because I think, well, how do I want to put this? I almost think like, again, this person like dreams of you. They think of you as like the ultimate success. And maybe you are very talented or creative. It's like you've eventually prospered as well, kind of a thing. And he views you as kind of his ultimate victory, but he also feels like there's competition here, and he feels like you're mad at him and that he can't access like your heart space, even though that watery energy is very much there between the two of you. It's like, because of his situation, it's given you a lot of these clouds, and you're very clear-minded and you've risen above the clouds. It has been your kind of coping mechanism here, which was, I think, the best way that you could have dealt with this situation that he kind of levied here. Is his situation brought a bunch of these clouds into your world you couldn't really see. And so you rose above it and had that kind of clear sight. And I think that you're saying no to this kind of offer of love. And I do think that you've actually ended a karmic cycle here, like a major karmic cycle. There does feel to be like a bond, a soul bond here, but there has been a major karmic cycle, and it maybe hurt really bad, to break it. But I feel like you've decided to kind of go on the journey alone. And so he's thinking about that. And he's thinking about this like partner. He's thinking about that a part of him really wants to leave. And I feel he would leave for you, or like he could leave for you. But I don't think you want that. I think this is a mess. And I think there's something about his offer of like emotional love that it feels almost like tainted to you or poisoned to you because of who he was in the past and what he had and what he was like involved in. And this doesn't maybe feel as stable as what he gave to this other lady. There's a lot of stability here. And you're like, okay, so I'm supposed to take your cup of love. Am I being disrespected? Like, I feel like there's a lot of thought energy here that you kind of think over. And he understands that. On some level, he understands that. But he doesn't know what to do. So he feels that this is his karma. And I think that he's right. Because this is like a bottleneck or like a chokehold between his old life and his new life. The person that he struggled hard to be and the person that he wants to become. But there's just a sense here of not wanting to. It's like he's the big man, It's like he doesn't want to lose that. Because he thinks about that. He thinks about like the comfort of his life, the success, the stability. He does think about this partner where it just feels very routine and like very mundane between the two of them. But maybe not necessarily bad. Yeah, so let me just pull some, what would this person, okay, well, I just looked over at this and it says stand in your power. I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. And I think this person's trying to figure out how to stand in their power, this masculine, but it's like, I think this person is maybe going through an existential crisis. Maybe that's part of what the karma is like bringing in, because I do think that he's being forced to kind of untangle his karmic knot here and kind of get to the root of this. And like I said, there could be some kind of sense of irony here, because I think that maybe, I don't exactly know. I don't know. But the way that things are kind of like unfolding between the two of you is making this person have to assess what is their power. And I think they feel that their power is their position, their skill set. This person does have a lot going for them, So, but they think like, well, who am I if I don't have this like stability that I've built up in the world? Isn't that my power? How do I stand in my power? But they also feel kind of drained and uninspired and, I don't know, locked into some type of loop here on their side of things. So they're questioning that. And look, under this we have the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I feel like that's a major lesson here as well. I think maybe that's something that they're having to confront in you. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It's something that they're having to confront within themselves and like within the life that they've built. that maybe happiness or fulfillment or power, these kind of concepts, maybe they're bigger than just an equation that can be broken down into like the sum of its parts. And I think maybe something here about the partner as well. Like there could be something about the partner that this person has like not quite overlooked. There's like a quality in all of you and in this situation that you couldn't just get there by putting the sum of the parts together. And revenge is coming up too. So maybe this person wondered if there's like revenge on your part. I'm not really getting that. I just kind of feel that you and this person, there's a matching in you can be very logical. You're smart. He's logical. He's smart. That's what this is. It's like this is an undesirable situation for you to take on board. And he knows that because he's smart enough to figure that out. So he knows that he loves you and that it's pure. He knows his intent. He wants to bring love into your world and that you won't let him. And I think he respects you for that, because I think if you were any dumber or like not his match in some kind of way, that's not the position that you would have taken, you know? So he respects you. He knows almost even more certainly that you are a match in that kind of way. So let's just see what he's thinking about, what he wants to say here. I hid who I really am from you. Interesting. I feel like this may also have something here to do with the partner. I don't know why I just got that strong intuitive hit. I hide behind material things. Okay, so yeah, this person, I think maybe did hide the materialism from you. But I think you saw something here anyways. It's like, this is equating to a kind of disrespect for me, where it's like, this guy lives the good life. Like, let's not get it twisted, okay? He's got a lot over here. Wanted to offer you his love, and you were like, no, no. Because it's not that you don't care about his love, but if he's trying to withhold certain things, it's showing a certain kind of disdain for you, a certain kind of disrespect for you, a certain kind of selfishness. So you've spotted it, that the love energy here isn't as pure as it's like, well, I have this kind of built over here. It's like he wants to compartmentalize. And maybe that's the first way that he tried to deal with this blockage, this karmic block. And that's given rise to it's made you mad and possibly embarrassed. I just heard like humiliated, because your value was not, he's trying to give you love while simultaneously disrespecting your value and wasting your time and giving everything over here to somebody and then saying, well, why don't you settle for my love? It's a settling kind of energy that he's placed around his love. But you figured it out because he thinks about that, about hiding behind material things. You Speak to Me Through Music just came out. I remember every detail of that day. There's something here that just like plays over and over in his mind. And I think it may have been something about like him offering you his cup and you taking a strong stance, because it wasn't enough. And this is your smarts that's coming through here. I hid who I really am from you. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. So I think for some of you, you took a hard stance, and it was hard for you to take because there is genuine love here. And I think you did want to accept his love, but he insists on keeping this going or disrespecting you in this situation. And I think that you knew this is not your protector. You have to be your protector. He's clearly not interested in it. He's clearly interested in, he wishes things could be different, but wish in one hand and you know how the saying goes, you know what in the other, and see which one fills up faster. And this person, for as smart as they are, they've gotten themselves into a real pickle. And I think this is kind of an introduction into the cups. There's a wisdom and an intellect to watery energy. This person has a lot of earthy energy and a lot of air energy, possibly even some fire, because they have persevered in something. And they do feel that this is an interesting person because they feel like they've overcome a kind of competitiveness, but I'm not sure if they have. I think they have made a lot of progress with it, but it's like, I think in the past they used to be a lot more competitive. There's like kind of a struggle. And then this person did like emerge. So it's almost like maybe the fire energy they remember from a past life. Like they kind of maybe do that well or something. And that's led to this kind of earthy energy. And then in being in that space, like having to tend to this, like, I don't know, assets or whatever, there's also an air energy, but the water, it kind of eludes them. And so I think they've had to think over why them offering you their cup in the way that they didn't go over well. Because it's correct for it not to have gone over well. And it's because this is like an initiation, I think, into the realm of cups, which means an initiation into spirituality as well. but also to the realm of the emotions, because this person maybe thinks emotions are not fact, emotions are useless, so bury them, suppress them, repress them. And I think this person's been successful in that way. Or if you have an emotion, kick it into the wands, channel it into passion, or I think they've mellowed out though. So let's see. I want more. This person's clearly like ruminating or thinking or pondering. So what are they pondering about? Because they are sad here. They're also kind of frozen. Again, they might have been embarrassed or humiliated, I don't know, or realized that they did that to you, or like you could have gotten angry, like when this person offered you their cup of love, or just cold, matter of fact. They're thinking about that because I think that they have this kind of hint from spirit, or they've picked up on something, but they don't know exactly why they're picking up on it. But they have kind of realized that they don't know what it means. Like they know that you don't feel this kind of way about them, but they don't know what it means for you to have like shut them out like this. Yeah, it feels like a secret. Maybe this person's like trying to tap into their intuition or their tarot, or they're wondering like, what you know. This doesn't really seem like a person to be into tarot, but they might have like, I don't know, trying to Google like emotions or something like that. I don't know. Because they're thinking about the past and how you guys got along really, really well. They could have seen you move on with somebody else. And it brings up their fears. There's a lot going on for this person. It could be that you struggled financially while this person like prospered. Again, like it would take someone who's not an nincompoop in the area of emotions 2 seconds to figure out that that's not love. That's not what you do to somebody that you love, is just sit there on your throne all fat and cocky while somebody else is having a struggle. You don't do that. It's not love. It's not what love does. But he wants to offer you love. Love isn't something that emotes from his entire being. He thinks, oh, I would like to offer you my love. Here it is in a package, and it's like you're offering her more love than you're offering me. And I feel like the emotions are, because you're there for her. Or you're whatever. This is love. Because I feel like this person's love language might well be acts of service. I don't know that they might associate that with their job or something, but it's like that's their investment energy kind of thing. So there's been an argument, and it's internal for this person too, because they can't quite figure out what things mean. But there's definitely been an argument, or there's been some kind of competition, and this person doesn't get it because they feel like they're the highest cup. And they feel like they're the highest cup in part because of this like status that they have gained in life, but this status it's not benefited you. So they think they're the highest cup because they have this, but they're not offering it to you. They would have to leave this situation to offer anything to you. So it doesn't really give them a leg up over here. It can be attractive that this person's capable of doing this, but that's about all it is. What is this person thinking about? I mean, they're thinking about how to get down your wall. They're thinking that you're pretty pissed. They're thinking that they'd like to have a go at it too. They're thinking that they want to hang out with you. They want like to socialize with you. They want things to be like nice with you. They're thinking about how you're their favorite essentially. And how you are very giving. Even if you have less than this person, I think, but you're very giving with what you have. This person's really not. I think they give everything to the partner. Because it's a way of giving to themselves. And that's their kind of like agreement here. This has really started some type of process. Like it's starting off like thinking, but they're thinking about this 10 of Pentacles here. And they're confused and they don't know their options because 10 of Pentacles, it's really weighing on this person. Yeah, so they don't know which way to go. This is a hefty energy because I feel like this person dedicated like a long period of their life to building this. So they don't want to walk away from it. They don't want to like split it in half. They don't want to go independent. They don't want to start over. So they're confused about what to do. And that could be also why this person's looking to have some type of maybe hidden relationship, hidden communication, or hidden affair where they kind of pour their emotions into so they can have their cake and eat it too. But let me just see how you're feeling about this. I'm just noticing how red she is. I have not noticed that before, but she just looks so red. Like almost, it just looks like she's so pissed off. Like she could just touch this and like it could just burn a hole to the center of the earth. It just feels like that. Like you're pissed. You're confused. Because to you, it looks like this guy is trying to exit it looks like exactly what it is. And I can tell that this guy's like purer of heart than that. Like he does feel like, well, I'm trying to love you. But it's like there's this huge selfishness and you feel, yeah, I think that you can see a part of him that he can't quite see. You know, it's childish, it's immature. It's there is a strategy here. He's trying to invest very little. You know, look at this gigantic house. And he's also acting like, look at this man. Okay, like he has so much here. He's the King of Swords. He's got so much. And then he shows up as a Page of Pentacles to you with this tiny little bag of change. And, you know, he looks like a little boy to you. You know, he shows up as like this little boy. And it's not in the realm of water, which he's supposed to be kind of learning about, I feel like, his like emotions. It's in the realm of Pentacles. So this guy maybe only knows how to forge a relationship based on what he has, like what he's kind of built. So that's definitely attracted a certain kind of person, and you're not that kind of person. You are, also you're confused why he's looking at you. I think that you feel you received a type of treatment and that it was a clear answer. It's pissed you off, if not embarrassed you, because you feel like a second-class citizen or you feel second best. You feel like he chose this over you. It's brought up a lot of like emotion for you, but it's fire emotions is what it is. And then you're wondering like why this person puts you up on some type of pedestal. Does it make sense to you? Like why this person is like still looking at you, why they're still wanting to offer you their cup. Some of you maybe have even like, again, you cut your Queen of Swords to this person and her skin is so red. It's almost like hot. I can feel it. It's like hot to the touch. It's like fevered to the 10th degree. Like, you know, and you're like, so I take this stance towards you where I'm just pissed, you know, and I don't like you and I'm short and I'm mean. And yet you still want to offer me your cup of love. I feel like you are really confused by that because you know there's somebody else. So it's like, okay, so you say that you love me, but there's this like this whole Empress situation. Yeah, you want to fight about his situation here. And I think that you have broken some type of mold here for this guy, but you don't understand that and it pisses you off and you're not getting the answers that you would want to get, in part because he's strategic, he is. And that's part of what's made him successful in these other realms, but it won't make him successful in the realms of the heart, in the realms of like love and emotions. It won't do that, which is why you're hardened. He doesn't know how to soften you. Yeah. That's confirmation. Like he just sees like so much happiness here, like in your world, and he wants to be a part of it. And he's mad that he can't be a part of it. He's also mad that you've like maybe moved away from him, started over, and that you would prefer to do your own thing and to have way less and to, you know, than to entertain this. Because you're protecting your mental health. I feel like you know that you're the Queen of Swords, you in a good way. Like you know that you're clear-minded. And you don't want him to bring a bunch of this confusion energy into your space. You don't want that. You value being clear of mind. And that's not what he offers you. And he needs to understand that because he has offered people from his past and certainly this other lady something entirely different. He's like, this is a good package and it is, but that's not the package that's on offer to you. The package is I come with baggage. I'm in this situation that's materialistic and I'm lonely, but I'm staying here because this is kind of what I built and this person is there. So, you know, that's who he doesn't see himself clearly. Yeah. And I feel like he has a plan or maybe he keeps having plans and then you just kind of, you smite them down because you're not budging. I can just see that you're not going to budge. Like, he's going to change his situation. He needs to change his mind. He needs to change his approach. He needs to take some dings here. This is a guy who can afford to take a ding or two. And that's, I think, how you're looking at it. If he's not willing to take a ding or two, then he doesn't really love you. You know, not the way that he's acting like he does. He loves himself more. He loves his, I don't know, his material stuff. He loves the special chair in his room and he likes you know, whatever. He likes his kitchen and his plates and his pots and his pans and he likes all that better than he likes you. It's just who he is. I mean, you know, he doesn't try to be that way. It's just that's what he prioritizes and that's different. So, all right, anything else? I feel like your number one question is like, is she still around? Is this still intact? And if it is, you are not budging. Yeah, you've judged this and you're going down a different path. Maybe, I think for some of you, maybe you wanted like more of a traditional life or something here like that. But there's been so much nonsense and like pain here. I think that for a lot of you, you feel that you feel this has brought too much heartache in your life. People and their stuff, people and their materialism, and it scares you, I think, to be honest. And I think that you just want to be different. You want to be unique. You want to go your own way. I don't think that you feel safe under like the traditional communities and the traditional, and this might be subconscious. Like there's some type of fear around it now because of him and his dedication and his loyalty to the cause over here. And so you want a kind of freedom. Yeah, you are manifesting your own kind of situation here, but you feel like you've got to cut away from him. And he feels like, no, that's me. I'm the one that loves you and I have all this. And he doesn't understand that he's not offering it to you. And he feels like he would offer it to you and that you don't see that. So, but I think he feels, okay, this is like a mess. So he feels like he would offer it to you, but it has to start off as an affair. And that's a no-go for you. Because it's like that's what he's trying to do. He's like, he feels unsure. So this whole situation, there's like a pressure here. There's like a karmic pressure maybe for both of you. It's like you know where your boundaries are and you're not messing with somebody who's got something else going on. And like I said, this has hardened you, but I feel like you're kind of working through your own karmas here. And you've made some pretty big progress, and I feel like it was at cost to you because, like I said, you've cut off this string, but it's like a thick string. I feel like there was some type of thick karmic cycle here. So I think that you won, basically. And he sees that. Like, you kind of have been victorious over this karmic cycle, and I think this is the karmic cycle. So you've been working through your own karmas where I just think you are advocating for yourself, and you know what real love is. And he's like, well, he feels he is willing to do this, like to break this off, but it's like he needs a lot of reassurance. But that's not what he really needs because he's got to work through his own karmas here. And his own karmas have to do with, he understands fire energy enough, almost like it's integrated into his subconscious mind, which is like the body. Like he knows kind of maybe how to persevere, and he understands the earthy realms. He understands the sword realms, but he doesn't understand the watery realms. And so if he could tap into that, his emotions, his intuition, spirituality, the peace that passes all understanding is what I'm getting. Because he's not at peace right now. Because he's trying to understand, and he's trying to understand through the mind. There's a peace that passes all understanding here. And he needs to get in touch with that in order to end his own karmic cycle here. That has to do with materialism and authority and contracts and the ties that bind, and you do kind of know that. Because I feel like playing it out on his terms the way that he thinks it needs to go, which is I have to sneak out and I have to come over here and we have to kind of figure this out so that I feel strong enough and I feel reassured enough to break away from this. Like all this just ends up in you being disrespected because he's going to get his fill and then kind of go back. And it won't be because he doesn't love you. It's just because I just feel like that's the way that people are, He's craving it. He's been very bored. This doesn't really light his fire. So if he comes over here and he finds out that you do light his fire, it's like there's still like no investment here. It's like he's not looking at it from your perspective. Like, what are you getting out of this situation? The possibility, it's like a tryout for you. And it's just, I feel like he has all the power. This isn't even like a regular dating situation where it's like, hey, we're both getting to know each other and are we going to take this next step together? It's like, no, the next step that would have to be taken is on his side of things and only his side of things. And it gives him way too much power. And he knows that on some level. And that's what makes him feel comfortable is, oh, remember, where did it go? Stand in your power. So this was part of your karmic cycle, is realizing that you're all tipped out of balance here. And you shouldn't acquiesce all your power in this situation to him to make him comfortable. Because I feel maybe in past cycles and previous incarnations, maybe you did, and it didn't work out for you. And you had to learn the hard way. This isn't love, and somebody who loves you isn't going to ask you to step out of your power and to tolerate their bullshit that puts you in a negative situation. And he isn't seeing it like that. That he's putting you in a negative situation while claiming to love you, and he's putting her in an elevated situation, and it's just, it is what it is with her, you know? But he's pouring love over here. This is love to you. And you see it as love. So I don't know if like love for you is like gift giving or acts of service or something very just like earthy, or even just like quality time. But he's pouring all of that over here into this situation. And a lot of it is just their mutual dependence, or like it's about materialism. It's not really about the bond between them. And yeah. So I think it's important actually for you to cut away from the situation, even though he's frustrated. And he doesn't think that you understand, but I think you plenty understand. I think it's him that doesn't understand the position that he's asking you to put yourself in for love. This is a guy who ultimately he doesn't sacrifice for love. He thinks he will be able to, and he's like open to it. But he's asking you to sacrifice first while receiving nothing. Really. No reassurances. He's asking you for a reassurance, you know? So it's like he's not really getting it. He's not really getting it. So, but I think you've cut away from this, and I think that you plan on standing your ground, even though it's been very hard. And it brings up some kind of emotion in you where it's just, you're pissed. And again, like maybe a bit humiliated. Every time he kind of brings this kind of cup around, you think that he thinks that you would settle for that. And that you aren't the Queen of Swords, intelligent and clear-minded, and that you can see that this isn't an investment. And that it's a slap in the face because of how much he invests here in this other situation. It means something. And I think it means something in the watery realms because, you know, like, how can you claim to love me? You can't see that you're pouring love over here into this situation. Like, he doesn't understand that perspective, but it's like, it's something else here too. It's like, yeah, because he feels like he's not really offering love in this situation, but he offers comfort, protection, routine, money, stability, time, energy, effort. That's love. All of that's love. So he doesn't understand that it's like his definition of love, he kind of negates at the same time he hands it to you because he's not getting it. He negates his own position of love. It's like you get the emotion, and all he equates with love is like the emotion and not like the investment and the time and yeah. I wouldn't even know how to explain it to this guy. And that's why it's like his karmic block here. But you get it. You see it. You see that this ain't shit, what he's offering you. But he's saying, well, I'm offering you my love. And you actually know more in this situation to say, no, because there's like, I'm just seeing this is like a bigger cup of love over here. And he's like, but I'm offering you my love. And it's like, what is this? If not love, some type of love. Even if that love is kind of poisoned and like it's a love of materialism or whatever. So, okay, I'm going to leave that there. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.